Anna Giacone is the founder and advocate for co-parenting in harmony. She possesses over 30 years of successful co-parenting experience. She was a child of divorce. She is now a bonus mother and co-parent and proud bonus grandmother. She's also a widow, and she'll talk a bit about that. She draws upon her personal experiences to provide divorced parents with the tools to transform their co-parenting relationships. Anna's unique approach integrates her personal experience into her coaching. She offers practical tools and suggestions to aid members in healing, find clarity, and establishing a new paradigm of respect for parenting. Her guidance empowers co parents to become the parents they aspire to be and shifts their mindset from partners in marriage to partners in co parenting. Anna holds certifications in certified master coach practitioner. She's a certified co parenting coach and facilitator and a certified parent educator. She's also the author of 2 internationally best selling books in co parenting and harmony series and a contributor to HuffPost and Thrive Global. She advocates for solution focused, collaborative approaches to the challenges faced by co parents and bonus parents, guiding individuals globally toward healthier and more harmonious family dynamics. Her mission is to remind parents that parenthood is lifelong and that above all, their child's well-being should be prioritized. Welcome to my realm. I'm Tammy Jordan, and this is Butterfly Days, the podcast that proves you're not past your prime, you're living in it right now, because women don't have expiration dates. Butterfly Days is a celebration of the extraordinary potential of Gen X and Boomer women. Throughout history, women have shared wisdom to uplift and empower one another. And you're about to learn hard-earned wisdom and best-kept secrets from interesting, inspiring women. So if you're ready to embrace your butterfly season with confidence, find joy in the present, and create a legacy that matters, you're in the right place. No more holding back. Let's spread our wings now. Here we go. Welcome to my realm. You're listening to Butterfly Days, and today's episode is with Anna Giannone. She is the founder and advocate for co-parenting and harmony, name of her website, her business, and a series of books that she's written. This is an extraordinary subject you're really going to enjoy. Anna has over 30 years of successful co-parenting experience. And as a child of divorce, a bonus mom, which is a stepmom, a co-parent, a proud bonus grandmother, and a widow, she draws on her personal and professional experiences to share her wisdom with us today. It is so awesome that we have you here today, Anna, all the way from Canada, which was super cool. I wanted to start by something that you said is kind of the basis for your work, and it's a quote by Albert Einstein. No problem can be solved by the level of consciousness that created it. And I love this about your work because you teach family for all the adults need to be in line on this. Family first, and the kids come first, and that this changes everything. And I love this, but how does this change everything?
First of all, thank you for having me, Tammy. I really appreciate this. The more we bring awareness out to globally, the better this world will be. And our kids, their mental health, we're there to help them. How does it change everything? Well, kids do come first. It's all about kids come first. So we need to focus. We need to look at the bigger picture. So the bigger picture here, yes, we're no more spouse partners. Yes, we are divorced. Yes, but we're still parents.
Mhm.
We're still parents. Parenthood is forever. And so we need, and nothing really changes when it comes to shared responsibilities, when it comes to your child, whether you're in a two home concept or not. You know what I'm saying? I mean, co
Yeah,
parenting, you could be doing co parenting together as married and co parenting as divorced. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. And so the shared responsibility, the mutual decision still stays the same. Then the care that you have for your child still stays the same. So it's always about kids come first. I always say this forever. It's our job as parents to continue to raise well-adjusted, resilient, and resourceful kids in a two-home concept. You're not each other's enemies. You're still parents.
Mm,
You're there. You're there to focus on your child. You need to let go of anger. You need to focus on unity, to not get lost in the chaos and always work on this family about kids come first. Does that make
yeah.
sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like you're saying that the parents and the steps involved, that we're really going to have to be the adults to own fully that while our relationship may not have worked out, this one, that of being parents and step parents, that's where we are now. And if we shift to a mindset that, just what you said, I love where you said it's a two home concept. It's more like there's still a team, but it's not the marriage team anymore.
Correct. Correct. We're no longer spouse partners, but we're still parenting partners.
Yeah.
And we still have, it's still our role. It still continues. The
Yeah.
role of parenting still continues, but in a two home concept. So we are a teamwork. We have to be team players. We got to work together. It's about kids come first. It's about our child's well being,
Yeah.
our child's mental health. We're there to help this child spread his or her wings so they can become beautiful, amazing adults in this society. This is what we need. So it's our responsibility as a parent to keep doing what we got to do for our
Yeah.
kids.
What I like about what you're saying is that the responsibility kind of shifts, and therefore the lens shifts to maybe the two of you had problems, but the child and the parent don't. That's a sacred relationship that deserves to be honored. The children are not being divorced. The marital union is where the divorce has taken place. And kids deserve to be able to freely love and care for their other parent and feel also, even if it's tough for you, that you respect that they have the right to another parent.
Of course, of course. I mean, we're not there for competition. We're not each other's enemies. We're not there to teach our kids to hate or to
Mm,
despise the other parent. What are we teaching them? What example are we giving them?
wow.
Don't forget, monkey see, monkey do. Eh? I always say that monkey see, monkey do. Our kids are always looking straight up at us all the
Mhm.
time. No
Yeah.
matter how what we say, what we don't say, the nonverbal language, the verbal language, they're always looking at us. So, we have to behave. We have to be accountable. We are mature adults.
Yeah. We have to be the
No,
adults in the room. And you know what? I would even say that it doesn't matter the age of the children, that
correct.
that responsibility is an honored something that we owe our children. They didn't ask to be here. They're here because, arguably, we decided to do the things that will get them here, and, we owe them. It's not the other way around.
No, no.
We owe
And
them a healthy, loving childhood that facilitates the best launch possible for them.
correct. And I always say our children, they are our teachers. They're teaching us how we should really behave. Because when they cry out or when they're not functioning well in school or their mental health has been a bit disturbed, well, they're teaching us to take a look at ourselves. It's, "Ooh,
Yeah.
what am I doing here? How am I acting up? How come my child is like this?" Whoa. So it's not about you taking your child to see the psychologist. Although, if we're going to look at it more positively, you got to look at yourself first and say, okay, what am I
Ah.
doing? Yes, what am I doing that is triggering this in my child? Hold on, let me take a good look at myself. Let me see where I'm misbehaving or not really taking my responsibility or not being committed to being, to
Yeah.
kids to come
Yeah.
first, to fulfill my child's needs.
Yeah.
So we must not get lost in the storm, and we have to stop being resentful and hating the other person. Yes, you hurt. I understand, but you need to heal your hurt, and under that hurt is grief, and grief it's sadness, and sadness under the anger it's sadness. So we
Yeah.
need to heal this grief that we have, but
Yeah.
we must not put it on our children. They don't
Yeah.
deserve that. They don't.
No. No, and to teach them, I loved what you said earlier, we should not imprint on our children to, to distrust, dislike people that's not the lessons that we're looking, and certainly not against another parent. If there are issues between us, that is one thing. I'm wondering though, how do you have practical tips for how to prioritize the kids and to get past some of the petty jealousies that can crop up? It can be between couple or even steps and, previous spouses.
Well, the first thing, like I mentioned earlier, the first thing that I do with my clients is step one would be heal your divorce grief. You have to heal
Mm,
your grief because divorce is devastating.
yeah.
Devastating. It is devastating. I understand because the loss of a spouse partner who probably was the love of your life and you
Yeah.
never thought it would end. The loss of your identity couple. Everybody said, oh my God, you're such a beautiful couple, you're an amazing couple, you get all these
Mhm.
beautiful compliments and all that. The loss of the family dreams,
Mhm.
the loss of the money, the loss of the house. There's so many losses, so we have to really understand our grief. We need to solve this grief so it will not flow over onto our child. And then that's what I work with my clients. And then the step two is the uncoupling. We need to uncouple. We need to detach from spouse partners, and we need to change our language with our
Mm.
former spouse. We can no longer talk to each other like we used to talk to each other when we were spouse partners. It doesn't work that way because we make demands. We're not supposed to make demands. We make requests, into
I
this
love that.
process. But if you still think your spouse partner when you're divorced, it's the chaos is always going to be there. The dynamic it's always going to be the negative. You're going to get distracted. You will not be able to focus on your child. You're going to
Right.
focus more on the former spouse, which is about resentment, hurt. Which is about chaos, which is about I'm going to get her back, or I'm going to get him back. And so you're not focusing on the right thing, which is kids come first. So you need to detach not only emotionally but also physically by having a
Nice.
two-home concept is the best thing.
Yeah.
And then you become and I make them understand you're both business partners now. This is a business partnership.
Oh,
We're business partners now. Now we both have a common goal. And the common goal is to raise this beautiful child to become an amazing adult so this child can spread him, his or her wings
yeah.
into having a beautiful future.
Yeah.
And then the step three would be shift in mindset. Find a new meaning in this new dynamic. You know,
Oh, yeah.
Yes, find a new meaning in your new lifestyle. Understand and accept that you're no longer compatible as spouse partners, but you are an amazing and you can be that 18, the parenting partners. You need to de-dramatize, need to shift to your rational side of your brain and remove the emotions within it when you are discussing, negotiating. It's about rational. It's about focusing on your child. Kids come first. What do our child what does our child need right now at this present moment? And believe that it does get better. It
Mhm.
will get better and it does get better. And you
Mhm.
know what? I always say to my clients, when you know better, you do better.
Yeah. Yeah. But I love it. I love what you're saying. You're saying if you change your language, do not talk to each other like you're still married because you're not, first of all. So the more polite, considered language and expectations that go with a business relationship. We are
Correct.
co-working on this project named Our Child. I love that because it sort of gives some emotional space and yet still a framework to be respectful and collaborative. Collaborative has got to be a big word here. And then begin, like this is conscious, begin to look for new meaning in the new format that you're in, which is a two house uh, a family unit.
Correct. And how I help my
Wow.
clients, how I help my clients visualize this is like, okay, Now we need to discuss, let's say, Jessica today. Jessica has, you bring up an agenda. I bring them in a boardroom.
Oh, I love
Visualize
that.
you're walking into a conference room, you're facing each other, and you both have your agenda and
Mhm.
items that needs to be discussed. Jessica needs this. Jessica needs this. Jessica wants this. Jessica has to go to the doctors this week. Jessica, and then you go from one item to another, and you both solve this. And then once it's done, okay, thank you, bye. You're responsible. You make a chart or a schedule, have it at home, and be responsible to be accountable for these
Yeah.
items that
Commitments,
were
yeah.
mentioned. Yeah, commitments, correct, commitments that were
You know what
mentioned.
I love about that? And I heard your work before, but it just dawned on me. Part of what's beautiful about this, about framing it as if it's a business agreement rather than a personal relationship as it used to be, is that two things. One, it's not acceptable in business to have a huge fight across the conference table and walk off pissed and then
Correct.
tell everybody you know what a meanie pants the other person is. You have to, if you're in business, you come to resolution, and what is agreed upon at that table, you're on the hook for it.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need to be honorable in helping take care of your child in the shared way and not uh, trying to do that thing where we try to buy somebody's loyalty by giving them goodies. You know, the Disneyland parent thing can really be eh, detrimental to the child.
For sure, and just know for a fact it's temporary. I mean,
Yeah.
you have the child in your back pocket by being that Disneyland parent,
Yeah.
that Disney parent, whatever. But it's just temporary because eventually your child's going to grow up. Eventually, your child will be able to make his own or his or her own opinion about who you are as a parent. Because you
Yeah.
know what? At the end of the day, you can't buy love. Love comes within your heart.
Yeah.
Love is in the heart. You can't buy
Mm,
love. Love grows within. So,
yeah.
if you think you're going to buy your child, it won't work. Eventually, it's going to turn against you, not
Yeah.
for you,
Yeah,
against you.
it might be a short-term strategy that seems to have some sort of payoff, but long term you're going to lose that ball game because
For
you don't,
sure.
because you're getting no respect with it. That's the
Exactly. Because it's all about respecting. It's about respecting yourself and respecting your child. You need to respect your child. Just because he or she is small doesn't mean that they don't deserve respect. They still
Oh,
deserve
no.
respect. You
Yeah.
can't you can't yell at them and smack them around or whatever. There's they deserve as much as respect as you deserve respect.
Yeah.
So you have
Yeah.
to learn how to talk to your child, how to speak to your child, how to teach them to solve problems eventually. Sit together at a table, talk to
Yes.
each other. Yes, that's how they grow. That's how they evolve. That's how they'll be able to spread their wings.
Yes.
Never give up on your child. Never give up on your child.
Never. And remember that if you two can work together, this is powerful teaching, even if you never explain it out to the child. The fact that you've been the kind of human who is willing to own their stuff and to be a fair broker in a discussion with this other person, that kind of respect and that kind of inner integrity, that translates across a lot of who you are and what you're doing with that child, and how you are contributing to that child's healthy well-being and being raised.
Now, what I'd like to add in the mix is that when a parent gets married to someone else, and then
Mm,
there's a step parent, but I call them a bonus parent because they are a bonus
bonus.
to our
Yes.
children. They are.
Yes.
And then the dynamic changes because yes, you could have a good relationship at the beginning. Yes, you could. It's civil and it is becoming amicable. But then
Sure.
there's a new partner that comes in, and that changes the whole dynamic. Then the jealousy gets in, and then the comparison gets in, and then
Mm,
it arises a whole bunch of I would say flaws
yeah.
instead of opportunities. I would say, but. But the person who comes within in this family, she or he must understand that it's about kids come first.
Yep.
It's not about comparing about the other parent. the biological parent. It's not about competing with the biological parent, because a child's heart is big enough and has a big room to love everyone in the mix.
Yeah, love is elastic, it's
But
not like
yes,
it's a fixed pot, and if they love you, they can't, if they love the step parent, they can't love you. That's silliness.
of course it is. So I'm the bonus parent in
Mhm.
this dynamic,
Aw.
and I'm the bonus parent. And when I came into this relationship, I married a man who had a 3-year-old and came with an ex. And
Wow.
so it was up to me to, when I saw this child, this little 3-year boy, so fearful, so scared, so, oh my
Oh.
God, this child was my mirror. It was me, what I lived when I was a young child, because I
Oh.
come from a chaos family as
Yeah.
well. I would
Yeah.
even say dysfunctional at a certain point. But so I said, no, I gotta make it my mission. I have to be the bigger person here. I have to put the big pants, as we say,
Yeah.
put the
Put your big
the
girl
girl,
pants on.
yeah, put the big girl pants on and make this a harmonious as as possible for this, to save this child's mental health. So I accepted the situation that I became in and not take over, because this is what happens sometimes. Bonus parents want to take over and says the biological mom is no good or the biological dad is no good. It's not about that, because we all have our qualities. We all have something good to contribute to this beautiful child. It's like
Yeah.
it's like mothers who adopt, like
Mhm.
families who adopt. It's the same thing. This
Yeah.
is how I saw it, you know?
Yeah.
This is how I saw it. And so I accepted it. And this is how we made co-parenting and harmony. We were all pioneers in this. We were 4 parents, all pioneers
It's amazing. Yeah.
into this co-parenting scenario. And we never fought. We
Wow.
never argued. We never told each other off. Never. Yes, there were some ups and downs. Yes, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. But it was between my husband and I. We had a discussion,
Oh, there you go.
and
There you go.
we solved it among ourselves.
Privately. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, the child
yes,
should never get mixed into that. One of the things that I have seen happen is when, and it's not just, sometimes it's small children, but most of the women who are listening to this we're over 50. So odds are the children involved are not small unless they're grandchildren. And this can also apply for that. But it would be older children, and there is if the gray divorce is a thing, there's a lot of divorce post 50, which means spouses have, fully developed, their children understand who the person is fairly well, and then there's a rupture, and the new person, the new step who comes in, has a particularly tough job because uh, I'll give you an example. I have a friend who married her husband, and he had children who were over 20. And the mom was very not pleased about the divorce that had happened with her ex-husband, and she made it very difficult emotionally for his kids to attach to her. And it would take her years and grandchildren, my friend, to be able to sort of earn some respect in that system because of the toxicity of the birth mom not being able to allow that her children should have any relationship that
yeah, yeah.
she didn't like.
Coaching. Yeah,
Mhm.
she coaches
Coaching.
her. Yeah, she
Yes.
coaches her children. Yeah, I see that often. So, how does that bonus parent accept all this? She or he just has to be themselves, has to come from the heart, and let the grown-ups children discover who they are, who the bonus parents are.
Yeah.
That's all. You can't force things, because the more you force it, the more they feel it. We all have this energy sense, right? We can all feel the
Yeah.
energy, whether it's negative or positive. So, and they're going to feel it. They're going to know. So, and unfortunately, it plays against the bio mom by doing what she does,
Yeah.
because it's going to turn against her, because eventually when the children, the adults are going to finally get to know the bonus parent, and they
Mhm.
turn out to love them,
Mhm.
Well, it's gonna turn against the bio mom or the bio dad. It's gonna turn against them. It does, because when you try to inflict harm or you
Mm.
try to control other people's feelings or how they should love or not, eventually you're digging your own grave. It's
Yeah.
gonna turn against you. You think you're gaining your children, you think they're gonna love you forever. Guess what? They're gonna turn around, they're gonna turn against you. Don't do
Mhm.
that.
Well, even if
No.
they don't fully turn against you, they're gonna at least have by the time that they figure out that the bonus mom is not the horrible wench that she was sold to be, their ability to respect you for telling them the truth or for being honorable, you're gonna lose that. And long term, that's probably not what most of us want, is to have our children not be able to respect us because we had to act like somebody took our swing on the playground.
I had conversations with the bio mom at the beginning because she was jealous of me and I was jealous of her. And,
Mhm.
we called up each other. I said, "Listen, I think we need to talk because I feel this awkwardness between us." And sure. And so we sat and had a coffee. And she said, "You know what?" She said, "Anna," she goes, "I'm really jealous of you." I said, "You're jealous of me?" I said, "I'm jealous of you." I
Yeah.
said, you birthed this beautiful child. You have this child." I said, I didn't birth this child, but he's still in my, I'll do everything in my power to be the responsible parent when he's under my roof. And, kids come first." I said, "You have no reason to be jealous of me.
Yeah.
I love your son and I'm going to do everything in my power for his mental health. And you don't need to be jealous, and I'll never take him away from you. I mean, how can I? He's
Yeah.
gonna love
It's
my
not
he's
even
gonna
possible. Yeah.
no, you can't do that. And so, we had the discussions and it worked out so fine. I mean, eventually, we had fun. Honestly, we meet together on Mother's Day, we meet together on Christmas Day, we meet together on birthdays. Now we meet together for our grandchildren's birthday. I'm a co-grandparent, a bonus
Mhm.
grandparent, I should say.
Mhm.
So, we greet each other. My husband is no longer with us. It's
Mm.
been 6 years now that he passed, but
I'm
my
sorry.
co-parenting still thank you, but my co-parenting still goes on.
Yeah.
To the next generation. I'm teaching the young one how to love, and it's all about harmony, and
Yeah.
it's not about making differences. It's not about blood. It's about love. It's about
It's about
acceptance.
love.
It's about harmony. It's about teaching them that we can accept everyone in our environment, and we're all there to love. We're all there to love one another and to respect each other.
Yeah.
And
There's just
again,
a much larger, agenda that you're following. But I love something that you said that I think some of our listeners might really appreciate is if should you find yourself where you're going to be a bonus parent or you've got a bonus parent being into your mix, I love that you and the birth mom, I'm going to call her the birth mom because I'm not sure what the right word is here, but that you and the birth mom got together in a respectful way and had a conversation that was as honest as is comfortably possible. Because these things aren't always the world's most easiest.
no, they're
But
not.
if you both show that I don't have weapons and instead I have good intent for this child, I bet that's the path forward, whatever your situation is.
Yes, you have to have compassion, empathy. She's not your enemy. I mean, for
No,
God's sake, she's not your enemy. But it
no.
took. But I'll be honest with you, it took a while for me to understand all this at the beginning because I was
Mhm.
new in this
Sure.
situation, and I couldn't understand this dynamic, and I couldn't understand why should we, why do we have this awkwardness?
Mhm.
I mean, I understand it didn't work with your husband, and I understand he was the love of your life. I get
Mhm.
it. Now
Yeah,
he's the love of my life. But
yeah,
you know what? It works out because she finally found someone else that she loves
yeah,
and who honors her, and she moved on and has another child with this person. There's always a good reason.
yeah.
So but we have to focus on kids. Kids come first. It's all
Yes,
about the child.
yes.
It's
You
really about the child.
you can think, "I've lost this relationship. This is the thing I thought I really needed most, blah, blah, blah." But the thing is, I really think that this is important. I've been divorced before. I'm not speaking down to anybody. I'm actually saying it from the level of having lived it, but also having had many friends over the years who divorced. If either one of you does not want to be in that relationship, the divorce is a good thing because
Yes.
whatever relationship is in your head, if the other person doesn't want to be there, the relationship that you are perceiving is only in your head. Do you know? It no longer exists what you thought was. And if it doesn't exist, you need something better. And sometimes divorce just seems like I've been there. I have been there. I've been on the floor crying. I couldn't, get up. I had no idea how tomorrow would ever happen. I mean, bad devastation. But the thing is, without that change that I did not want, I wouldn't be me today with a way better life. I think most of us over 50 have some degree of understanding about that, and that's very helpful to this process. And it's probably also helpful to bonus grandparents because if they're watching it at, the next level, at kid level, there's that, not to mention grandkid level. But the goodness that can come if you own that this isn't what you expected or wanted, but
Yes.
that you believe that it's possible that good can still be here and can further flourish, you just open the door for some room, just some really beautiful things, not only for the child involved, but for you and all the other adults involved.
Yes, everyone in the mix because it goes to the extended family. It goes to, we went on a beach vacation with my husband's
Aw,
ex. Yeah, because the grandmother, the bio grandmother,
yes.
loved my husband, and she
Aw,
happened to had she was diagnosed with two cancer and all that,
oh,
and so my husband's ex came to the house and said, "Listen, I have something to offer you guys. What do you think about we all go on a beach vacation because grandma loves
yeah,
my husband so much, and it's going to be Alex, my bonus son's first vacation with his biological parents and the
yes,
extended family on her
yes.
side." And we looked at each other, my husband and I looked at each other and said, "Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Why not?" The grandmothers will be, we don't know how long she has, and why not? So I said, "Okay, let's set boundaries." So we sat down, we set some boundaries.
Ah,
Yes, that's very important. We set boundaries. Okay, we'll leave together. We rented a limousine. We all got together. We got to the airport together. Okay, we'll say we'll sit together so we can have this family unity together. We can, show our show my bonus son, my husband, his son, that we are still a family. No matter
yes,
what, we're still a family.
the power of that.
And the power, yeah. And when we get to the resort, okay, we don't have to eat together. So, anyways, we made a schedule of
Mhm.
boundaries, and we were all in agreement of the boundaries and all
Yeah.
that. But guess what? We got to the resort and we were always together. I mean, oh, my husband's brother-in-law was there, his sister-in-law, I mean,
Yeah,
ex-brother-in-law,
yeah,
ex-sister-in-law, the grandmother, ex-grandma, we were all together, and
yeah,
every day we were together. We
yeah.
went to save seats on on the beach, and we ate lunch together. It was
It
amazing. It
was
was
a lovely
beautiful.
thing. Yeah.
Yes, it was fun. You know what? And what it comes
Mm.
down to, Tammy, you really got to be comfortable within yourself. You really have to look within. Yeah, you
Mic
have to
drop
look
on
with
that.
you have to look within. You have to be comfortable of who you are as a person,
Yeah,
who you
yeah.
are as a person.
So that you don't
We're,
have a dog in the fight that you need to keep mounting some crazy defense, whatever.
like your cup says, be the change. Be
Mm,
the change in this world. And this is and
amen.
this yes, and this is what I decided to do from from early on, to be the change, to make a difference. And we can get along. We don't have to look at each other like dogs, like, they're
Yeah,
they're
territorial.
mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. That's the word. That's
Mhm.
the word. Thank you, territorial. No.
We don't need
No,
to
it's
be
all
territorial with kids. It's not
no,
between parents. That's
no,
so
no.
detrimental.
But it does stem from who are you? Are you comfortable in your own skin?
Yeah, I love that. So anybody who's listening to this who's maybe struggling, listen, we may not know your exact problem, but one thing that I hear you saying that I think is really worthy of suggesting is saying, what can you own in the dynamic of the new family structure that's being created? What can you own about yourself that you could focus on and work? Because we can't change other people. And
Cannot.
the way you're talking about it's very optimal. You had 4 people who were willing and able to do this together. Some people may, find that there's parties that jealousy and resentment and, bitterness and lots of other issues are at play. But, uh, something that you said earlier, and it keeps coming back, so I think maybe there's somebody that needs to hear this. With the bonus mom who had a birth mother who was not being kind and was being awful, you said over time, that child or children will see the bonus mom's the integrity and the goodness that she offers, and they'll be able to develop a relationship from that point, which was my experience in real life in watching my friend. And I thought to myself, especially because of our age now, we know that time is our friend. Maybe someone is entering into a relationship where the relationships are difficult right now, but not needing to say it's always going to be terrible, often and awful and
No.
broken, and instead just cracking the window so the light can come in and having some hope that with time, the truth will shine through.
Always remember for who are you doing this for?
Oh,
Who are you who are you doing this for? You're
amen.
doing it yeah, you're doing for the child's mental health.
Yeah,
I mean, there's so many kids now who have mental health problems, and I've seen so many kids suffer of conflict of loyalty. Me, myself, I
yeah.
did suffer of conflict of loyalty. I mean, at the age of 16, I had to go to court,
Oh,
and I had a 4-year-old brother, and I had to decide which parent I would go live with so that parent could have the legal custody of my 4-year-old kid brother. I
yeah.
mean, can you imagine I was 16 years old and I had to decide which parent
It's
to go,
excruciating.
yeah, it is. And so and I lived conflict of loyalty. I betrayed a parent. I betrayed a parent. So, I went with my mom and my dad was so upset and the relationship was not easy at the beginning and it was tough. So, and don't forget, you're 50% mom and 50% dad within yourself, right? So if the parent teaches you to not like a mom, that 50% of mom, well, what do you think happens to you as a child? Then
Yeah.
you learn not to like your 50%
Half
of
of me is
you.
bad.
Yeah, half
Yeah.
of me is bad, or vice versa.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't easy for me. It wasn't easy, but I don't want to play victim here. I had to go through it. I had to learn it.
Yeah.
And that's what brought me to where I am today and to this passion and this mission, what I'm doing.
Yeah.
My life experience that it was for this. It was to teach other people that,
I
hey,
love this.
yeah, this is why I had to do what I had to do to save my bonus son's mental health because I had to work a lot on me.
Yeah.
So, and conflict of loyalty is the worst thing for a child to live. I've seen so many parents, so many of my clients that, the child wanted to play baseball, but one of the parent didn't want on her week or his week. No, I don't want to bring the child to the baseball. Well, okay, so the father was ready to go pick up the child, and no, that 50% is mine. I mean,
Oh gosh. Yeah, the
even
pettiness.
yeah, but it doesn't matter. You can still go to the playground and be with your child, even though, dad came and pick him up or mom came and pick him up. You can still participate.
Yeah.
They would love to see you at the ballpark and cheer on them. I mean, we always did it, whether we were on duty or not.
Yes.
We always took our child, my bonus child, to his sports event. Even when the mom was not available, the biological mom was not available, we were always there.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
always there. It's about unity.
It's
It's
about
about being a
unity. Yeah.
team players. It's for the child.
Everything.
And it
And even in this story, like I'm a bonus mom, and thus when he had a child, I'm a bonus grandmom. And I remember when it was his first, I think it was his first birthday, and the other grandmothers, there were two other grandmas were there, and just the whole that we all kind of worked together. There was an honoring, and I was so grateful that
wow,
those women were kind and generous and open to say, we can all love him. And I also tried to
wow,
honor, when you're the bonus, that you need to be respectful, that i- this child deserves to have full grandmothers and a bonus, not, don't attempt to make the constellation inaccurate, I think.
correct,
But and yet,
correct.
at one point, I had the bio mom of my bonus son pull me over with my husband and the other family and said, "We all need a picture together. We need a picture together."
Wow,
And
amazing,
so we have it
amazing,
from his first birthday of everybody
mm,
right all with
amazing.
each other. And I think that's particularly precious. But that only happens when we're intentional about being kind. You know what I mean? And and thinking about the child's what's best for this child.
Correct. I was my bonus son. They gifted me this beautiful gift. My bonus son and his wife. That I was at their birth when I saw my
Oh,
granddaughter come. I
oh,
was in the delivery room. They said we're gonna gift you this. I thought it
oh,
was beautiful. My husband and I, we were
amazing.
there. It was amazing. So I saw my granddaughter come into this world, and
That's crazy.
oh, it was
Oh,
beautiful. What a beautiful gift, you
yeah,
know. It was beautiful. And I'm so honored by that. I mean, I'm so, but I think it really has to do about who you really are when you help them feel good about who they are as a person.
yeah,
Well, it's the ripple effect,
yeah.
it's just the ripple effect. And today, my bonus son is a bonus dad as well. And yes, it's the ripple effect of love
Yeah,
when you get, when they don't feel that they have to choose, they don't have to choose sides, and they don't have to choose they should love better or who they should see more or not. I mean, it's amazing because they don't live the conflict of loyalty. They feel free. They feel
yeah,
free to love. They
yeah,
feel free to love. And
yeah.
that's very important.
I
That's
don't
very
think
important.
my bonus grandson thinks a lick about he's still young, but I don't think he thinks a lick of difference that he has three grandmothers. And I would say this because this sort of comes up when he was going to be born. One of in my friend group, a lot of people were having grandkids, and the whole discussion was, "What's your grandma name?" And I decided to choose a name that kept me out of the mainstream name street because I felt like that belonged to the birth grandmothers and I wanted to honor them. It turned out it wouldn't have mattered. And yet, I think each of us trying our best to find ways that we could accommodate and show each other that we supported their role, whether it was them to me or me to them, that's something that's really beautiful and important. And it shows up even in small things like that I'm Mimi, Tammy, Mimi. So, because there can be like, what a great thing to get to hear Mimi, Mimi, look, you know.
And I think it's beautiful. And I chose Nana. My name
Oh,
is Anna
yes,
Nana.
Anna Nana. Oh, I
Yeah,
love it.
Nana, yeah, Nana. And she calls me Nana,
Oh,
and she calls her biological grandma Mammy Joe and Pappy Joe and
oh,
Pappy Reg, I should say. And my husband, when he was alive, she called them grandpops. And
oh,
so, yeah, it was beautiful. We all had our names,
yeah,
and it's all with love. It's all with
yeah,
love.
yeah.
It's all with love. It's all,
When
yeah.
we see it from that way, it's so obvious that the more healthy, loving people that are possibly can constellate your child's world when they are young, old, who cares? We now have an adult, I have an adult bonus son now. It really does not matter what age they are. we want as many good, loving people to their influence to come to bear on that child as possible, whatever age they are, whatever age, stage,
Yes,
whatever. How the very wanting of that is a sign of a fine character. And if you want to have a fine character, you've got to square with the North Star of what that means. You know what I mean? You need to aim, and your mission should be to stay in alignment with that truth. And I
I
love that that's a lot of what you're saying.
I'll never forget when my husband passed, it was traumatic and I was lost. I mean, I
Oh,
was
so
limping,
sorry.
like I lost a leg, I lost an arm, just to say that I was so
Yeah,
unbalanced and all that. And
yeah.
then I called up my son. I said, my bonus son, I said, we need to talk. I said, and I was crying and crying. So when I got to his house, he was outside mowing the lawn, and he comes into to the car. He goes, "What's up? What's up?" Amo. He calls me Amo because my
Mhm.
husband called me Amo, and Amo means love. You know.
Aw.
So he says, "What's up, Amo?" And I started to cry. I said, "I don't know where my place is anymore. I think I lost my place." You know. And he says, "What do you mean?" Well, I didn't know. I said, "Who am I now? Where am I?" I said, "Am I what to you?" He says, he looks, and I was crying and crying. It still makes me cry. It still makes me cry to this day. And he says, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "Is my place still
Yeah.
there? Do I still have a place? Am I still?" He says, "Are you kidding me?" He says, "Amo, you're part of the family and you'll always be part of the family. This is our legacy. This is dad's legacy and your
Yeah.
legacy." No, he says, oh, and then we embraced and we hugged so much. And I was crying like a baby. How because I just didn't know anymore. It's
Yeah.
just because I mean grief does a whole bunch, it really
Grief
does a
does a
big
number
number.
on you. Yeah.
It doesn't whether it's divorce grief or a loved one that passed.
Yep.
And then, and I had the bio mom who was really so nice, and they were so embracing. Uh, they were so nice. I mean, they
Yeah.
were really they were loving. They were
Yeah.
loving.
They were
They
true
know,
friends and family.
yeah,
Yeah.
they know that I'm part of the family. This is
Yeah.
my family, and
Yeah.
I have grandchildren. These are my grandchildren, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was, yeah, I had to say it was amazing. My bonus son today, he's 42 years old. He's amazing.
Aw.
I am so proud of him. He's an amazing dad, an amazing husband. He's a beautiful,
A
beautiful
beautiful
soul.
human. Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Well,
Yes, he
and
is.
and how fortunate all of you are that you have each other and that you chose to focus on him, because in doing that, you bought everything, you know?
And like I tell my clients, I said, there's the powerful framework that's built around three archetypes that I tell them all the time when they're so emotionally distraught and they just
Mhm.
can't see the bigger picture. I just say, you know what? I always say, I'm in my lane. Stay in your lane. How you show up to the world, your energy is contagious. Before reacting, just take a deep breath, be proactive instead of being reactive, be solution oriented. Just stay in your lane, be present, be in the moment present. I'm in my lane, you're in your lane. What others think about you, because when you get so overwhelmed with the other parent or whoever
Yes.
thinks about you, is none of your concern.
Yeah.
None of your concern.
Keep doing
They're
you.
entitled. Yeah, they're entitled to their opinion. Everyone has an opinion. It doesn't make them right, and it
Yep.
doesn't make them wrong. It's just an opinion. I said, focus on that. And I said, there's the universal lane. Just trust the process.
Yes.
Trust the
Wow.
process. Instead of clinging on and wanting to control, just focus on what's happening now. Shift your mindset. Focus on the good. Focus on the now. Remember who you're doing this for. It's
Yes.
for your
Oh,
child. And
remember
I
who
help
you
my,
do this for.
yeah, and don't give up on your children. Don't. I have a client that I still have, and she's amazing. I mean, this child has created mental health because the father has rejected his son.
Oh,
But yes, and it hurts. Rejection hurts a lot. It
yes.
hurts a lot. Now, today he's an adult, but the mom has never given up on her son. She's
Oh,
always there for him. She's always, she hasn't given up, and she's helping him mentally, and whatever which way she could, she does. And it's amazing. It's amazing that she hasn't given up on her son. And I think it's beautiful, because when a parent gives up on the child, it's so hurtful.
yeah.
It's so hurtful, because we don't want to be rejected by our father and our mother. We
No.
don't.
And almost always, they're not giving up on you anyway. They're giving up on something else. You know what I mean? It's
Exactly.
just the child perceives it's just me.
Exactly. But they're giving up really of dealing with the former spouse. That's what
Yeah.
they're giving up
Yeah.
on. And it's sad to say that the child, like I said, the conflict of loyalty of being stuck in there, he or she takes it personally.
Yeah.
So
Which, of
that's what.
course, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's normal. I
Yeah.
mean, we put our parents on a pedestal.
Yeah. 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 And I
Yeah.
think that's a more good reason to realize that if your child loves a bonus parent or grandparent, it will not take from how they love you as a parent or grandparent because love is elastic. Hearts were made to stretch, just fundamentally
Yes.
built that way.
At the funeral home, also, I like to stress on this. On the funeral home, I was in chaos. I mean, I was just not there. And my mom was at the funeral home,
Hmm.
and people were coming in, and her family came in, and she was introducing me to all her family. I was
Hmm.
not even able to support my bonus son, because I was in total chaos. I was
Yes.
distraught. But it was only normal that she was there to support her son,
Yeah.
and her part of the family was there to for her
Show
son as
respect.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
show respect. Thank you. Show respect for her son, even though for me as well. And it was nice. We all came
Even at
together.
that point, you
Even at
know,
that point, we all came together. Yes, it was very respectful. Very
mm,
respectful. Yes, it was
it
beautiful.
it gives me and I hope every woman listening to this who has a situation either in her own or she's supporting somebody who has this situation going on, there is hope. And one of the great resources for it is Anna's website. She is annagiannone.com. Is that correct? Yes.
My website, yes,
Yes,
yes, correct.
it's
Yes.
ANNAGIANNONE. It will also be in the show notes and on my Substack so that you can find it. If you're interested, if someone is interested in getting your books on co-parenting and harmony so that they can really learn from some of the great, premises that you've shared here with us, where could they find those books?
Well, it's on my website, and it's on Amazon as
Oh,
well. There.
Amazon.
Yes,
Perfect. Yeah,
Amazon. Yeah, yeah,
brilliant.
Amazon.
This is so wonderful. And I think this will really touch a lot of families. Even if they thought, "Oh, I don't really have, this episode, I wasn't sure I was going to learn a lot." This is fantastic, amazing encouragement for families of all stripes. And to be
Yes,
able to have the mindset, the children come first, we're the adults, and we need to do the work.
yes, and we must not take things personally.
Mm,
Like I said, an opinion is an opinion, and we must no longer live in the past. The past is the past.
the past is the past.
The past is the past. It brought us experience to where we are today.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. Well, the past is the past, which leaves room for what once you come to that? A better future.
Yes,
And that's
yes,
what we want for our kids. I mean, I think that's the heartbeat of your message here is that you can buy a
exactly.
better future. Not buy. You
No,
can uh, move towards
evolve
it,
into,
evolve
yes,
into it.
evolve,
I love that.
evolve into a better future.
I love
All these
that.
experiences, all these hurts that we had, all these grievances, all these resentments. Well, it brought me today and beyond to understand more about who I am as a person,
Yeah.
first of all, who I am as a person, and how to go about and being contagious in this beautiful, positive feeling, and awareness, and go in this world to become that better version of oneself. That's it.
Yeah.
It's to become that better version of oneself. Yeah,
Amen. Amen. Part of what I love in listening to this is I just see the maturity that you having, been committed to the process and going through all these things, and then having allowed the good and the tougher parts to
for
make you
sure.
better so that the gift that you are to your friends, to your bonus grands, to your bonus kid. What a profound gift. I love this. I love your work. I want you to know wherever you are, Canada, the rest of the world, I am rooting for you, Anna. You are amazing.
Thank you.
And on
Thank
behalf
you.
of my guests, I thank you for being willing to tell us about your beautiful, beautiful vision for
Thank
how
you. Thank you.
families can live in harmony.
Thank you, Tammy, and thank you for doing this to bring awareness to this world so we can help our children
Mm,
and being more happy, being more fulfilled, evolve on a better path, on a more positive,
yeah.
healthy path.
Healthy
Yeah.
path. Yeah. Oh, I
Healthy
love that.
path. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. Bravo. What a great conversation with Anna Giannone today. She did such a great job of helping us understand the importance of always being the adults in the room, of focusing on the needs of the children, whatever age they are, and or grandchildren, whatever age they are, and the adults functioning as loving, supportive people of those children, releasing the pain and the resentment and the jealousies and all the things that we might feel personally and taking that and working on it for ourselves, but showing up for the kids in healthy, respectful, decent, and honorable ways. Even if you are not currently co parenting in your life, I think you will walk away with really just a more beautiful understanding and certainly be able to share this perspective with people in your life who will be experiencing this solution. I'm so grateful you listened to this episode. I hope it was a real value to you. If there's a sister in your life who needs this message, please share it, just like women have done to lift each other up over the centuries and across cultures. Women lifting each other is so important. It's why I do this work. And to avoid FOMO and keep up leveling your own life, make sure you don't miss the next episode. You may be losing hormones, but your life has given you powerful perspective. And I believe you have something to give that no one else does, that the world needs. So remember, I'm rooting for you. Let's go.